this is a student film. Both of our thesis films, John's directing thesis and my producing thesis.
Our film is a short film. It's called The Second Line. It's set in New Orleans. It's about two guys who, a guy gets his money stolen from his FEMA trailer at the beginning of the movie, and then he has to take work gutting a house with his cousin Nat. That's pretty much how they interact with the owners of the house and collide with the owners of the house.
Is a way to sort of contextualize what happens in New Orleans, because the four people, they would never have met except for the storm, except for their circumstances.
It's a short film. I get a lot of inspiration from locations and stuff. So when we finally found the location, where the main location is a flooded house, and we found that, we were able to sort of shape the scenes a little more. And I don't think films necessarily have a purpose or should have a message, but what interested me in it was just sort of representing a part of the city that I feel like had been stigmatized afterwards and turned into refugees, and I don't know. With my stuff in New Orleans, and I have a feature. I wrote a feature set in New Orleans. It's really sort of looking beyond what a lot of people look at as sort of stereotypes, and kind of trying to understand where people are coming from. I was really interested in questions of morality. I felt compelled to write a story in New Orleans. I think I love the city. That's probably the biggest reason.
For the most part, we did hire some locals down there, doing an away shoot, outside of New York City, where it costs money to bring people down. We had to find a lot of local crew, but it was a balance between our classmates. I mean, the cinematographer was a classmate, both of the co-producers, but some of the others were professionals from New Orleans, some professionals from New York, and then students from the University of New Orleans kind of filling out the rest of the crew. We
shot a good chunk of it in a flooded house, so there were safety issues. There was a lot of the black mold, so the crew was all wearing masks, and
cast was wearing masks,
and the cast was wearing masks and suits. And I like to say, if you turn the camera around during the shoot, you'd see a bunch of people who look like aliens, sort of sitting there.
Yeah. I mean, I think the real thing was that going into New Orleans 16 months after Katrina, there was no industry there. I mean, there was absolutely nothing. The bond companies, all these completion companies, had said that you couldn't shoot in New Orleans during hurricane season, which runs for 6 months, I think, from the end of May through the end of November. So essentially everyone cleared out. Panavision had a small office, but they really were in Dallas, and so it was this huge jigsaw puzzle to find all the resources that we need. I mean, everything from really basic stuff like walkie-talkies all the way on up to cameras. And we ended up working with Panavision to get a camera, a Super 16 camera from them, but we were competing with Friday Night Lights and Prison Break out of Dallas to get our cameras, because they just checked out the 15 cameras we had, so maybe we've got a camera for you.
There was ultimately a great deal of generosity when people saw that we were serious, and that we weren't just just exploiting things. One of the women we were helping, gave us catfish and spaghetti. That stuck with me. It was so nice when we had it. It sounds gross, but it was like a nice combination.